Okay, this is going to be a walkthrough for the Turismo race in Grand Theft Auto 3, which was requested by somebody on Steam. I'm actually going to do it in 4 different ways. The first 3 seriously. The last way is going to be more of a joke, but this video is going to be a little bit long. I happen to have this car. This is the car that I'm going to recommend you use if you're early in your game when you do this mission, where you don't have access to Staunton Island yet. Okay, so if you don't have access to Staunton, this is the car you want to use. It's called the Banshee. I happen to have it, but I'm going to pretend that I don't have it for a second for the sake of this video. Alright, I'm going to show you where to get one. There's one that's located in the auto showroom in Harwood. So I'll show you where that is. So anyway, you can take your time getting, you can take as much time as you to get to the car. You make a left outside of the park, then a right on this street, then a quick left, and a quick right up here. You're going to go past the fire department in Harwood. You're going to go past that gas station at Amco, whatever that is on the left, and you're going to come right in here. Okay, and this is where the Banshee is. And you could either shoot that with a machine gun, or you can just break the glass with any car you happen to be driving. Alright, so now we're going to head over to the race. Now, as I said, I'm going to show you 4 ways of beating this. The first way, I won't call it cheating, but I guess it's kind of a cheap little trick I learned early on playing this game, back when we all thought this mission was really hard. Okay? So now the game is telling you to go to the starting point, which I'm going to do, and it wants you to go into that little blue spotlight. But instead of doing that, I'm going to do something else. And this is the first way I'm going to beat it. Okay, and I'm just going to tap that car. You could also machine gun them, too. Now, you notice I tapped that car, and I got a really quick lead ahead. Now, one tip I want to give you, and I'm going to say this several times in this video, and it's very, very important to keep in mind. You notice that I'm not driving fast. You can hear the car engine revving when I'm going full speed. I'm actually taking it easy, and I'm using the brake, and I'm not driving full speed. That's what'll kill you in this race. This is a great car to use, this Banshee. It's one of the faster sports cars in the game. It's not quite as fast as the Cheetahs they're using, but the AI can't really drive. So you make your right here going into Chinatown. I usually make the right here, but you can go the next block if you like. I prefer to do it that way. And you go through that. You can go now, I go through this little alley here, but the next time I do it, I'll show you the other ways to do it. You could have also stayed on that road and then made the right at this coming corner, where I just passed, and then a left there. Now here you could stay on this road, but there's broken construction, so I usually go east 1 block and then go straight on. Now notice again, I am not flying through here. One of the problems that makes this race seem harder than it is, and oh, by the way, here I went all the way to the end and made the left. These roads are very slippery and slidey, and there's a lot of curves, and it's very easy to slide your car out. So I recommend taking your time and driving a little bit on the more easy side. Now I'm going past the hideout there. Don't drive like a maniac. There's no reason to. This race is too easy to beat, as I'm going to show you. It's too easy to beat driving sane. You don't have to drive at breakneck speeds throughout the whole race. Especially like a spot like here is tough because your car will spin out if you're going full speed. Take advantage of your handbrake, which is R1 if you're playing on a PS2 type controller, PS3 type controller. And again, you notice that car wanted to slip out there, but I'm going slower, so it didn't. So you're going all the way to the end down here by this park. You're going to make a quick lap. Now I'm way ahead right now, and this is a pretty good time I'm doing. It's not my best time because I'm going slower. I've done this race at breakneck speed. Don't be afraid to use the sidewalks here either. You can also go through that little alley there, but I'm going to just go through the main street, make it easier.
Excuse me, sir. Do you enjoy your job? I see. Is there
Now, bam, look how easy that was. And the AI cars are nowhere near me. Now we're going to do it a second time with the same car. We're going to use a Banshee again. And we're going to use a little bit of different. By the way, if you go through this alley with the little police bride there, this takes you right on the exact street you need to be on. Just an alternate route getting here. to the start of the race, which is in Chinatown. Now here I'm going to actually do what the game wants me to do and go right into the mission marker and let the timer count down. Now, I want to show you something. This is very, very important. Those drivers, they all drive like maniacs. I actually intentionally let them ahead of me. Look at how they're crashing into each other and crashing into walls. Let them stay ahead of you until you see an actual opportunity to get by them. Don't try to plow by them because there's no need. They just crash out eventually and you can just pass them. But I notice I'm staying several car lengths behind him because otherwise when he crashes me out, he'll take me out too. So I'm actually driving slow until I have an opportunity to fly by him. Because the car really wants to slide out here. Boom, see, he crashed. Now I got it. So I'm going to make the right here. Now you could go one block further, but I'm going to actually, again, make the right and then the quick left here. Now I'm going to show you the other way you could do this section. Instead of going to the left where I went, you could just go straight doing that and go around the longer way. You could have also, as I said, you could have stayed on the other road, you could have gone through that alleyway, or you could have gone through the street that I'm just passing now. Once again, I'm going to make the right here instead of going on that other street because there's construction 2 blocks up and it's a pain in the ass to negotiate. So, notice I'm taking my time. I'm not, now this time I'm going to make the left here instead of going to the next block over. Just showing you alternate routes you could take to the checkpoint. As long as you have a route to the checkpoint, you can go your own way. You don't have to follow a specific path, like one of those races where it keeps you on a track or something. Now again, notice if you listen to my, whoops, that was a crappy mistake. I hit the lamppost, but no big deal. Didn't even damage the car that much. Now notice I'm taking my time. I'm using handbrakes to turn. I'm not driving particularly fast. Now, once again, as I said, I've beaten this race in much better times than I'm getting in any of these tries at the race, but I'm not doing this for time. I'm doing this to show the easiest way to beat it is to not go for a record time, but to really just kind of drive a little bit on the laid-back side.
I'm Tony on Flashback FM.
Even though this is a really fast vehicle, it's also dangerous because it slides out and you end up crashing. And then if you burn it up, you got to change vehicles, and it makes the race harder. And here, just to give you an idea of how far ahead I am, we're going to stop, and I'm going to hang out here. Oops, get rid of these triads. I'm doing this mission at a point in the game where the triads hate me because I've killed their leader and shit. But notice, look, finally, now look how much time I gave him to catch me now. Finally he's coming. I mean, I wasn't driving at breakneck speeds, and I still beat that race very, very easily. Oops. Alright, now let's, just in case you think I can only do it with a fast car, let's do it with a taxi cab. I'm going to show you 2 ways with this. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it with a taxi cab, or like with any vehicle for that matter. I'm going to show you the wrong way first, and I'm still going to beat it, and then I'm going to show you the right way. Okay? Now, I'm going to intentionally do what you shouldn't do at the beginning of this race, and then I'm going to start it again after I beat it. Okay, so now watch. Instead of heeding my own advice, notice that I'm getting into a pissing contest with them. I'm trying to ram past them, and look how far ahead of me they get. Right? Whereas if I would have just let them stay ahead of me, I could have just... Now, I'm going to skip ahead. This is just the end of the race to show you that I was still able to beat the race, even with doing it wrong. Okay? So, that was an easy win. Now I'm going to show you the right way to do it with a slower or any vehicle. This time, I'm going to hang back, and I'm going to let them drive like maniacs. And I'm only going to pass when I can. Boom. They crashed, I went past them. If they didn't crash, I would have just stayed behind them until they either crashed or until I saw a good opening where I had a nice lane, rather than trying to ram my way past them. So now, even though I'm only in a taxi cab and they're trying to catch up to me, it's still going to be a relatively easy race. And again, notice that even with the cab, I'm not driving like a maniac. I am kind of hightailing it a little because the cab is not as fast of a vehicle as the cheater. But the good news with a vehicle like the cab, the taxi, is that you have more resilience to the vehicle. The vehicle's a lot tougher and more durable. But here I'm going to take this way again. Now again, I'm going to slow down and show you. You could have stayed on that road and went through that alleyway, or you could have went through this street. You could either way. You could also stay on this road and just go a block or two and then make the right, but I'm just choosing to make the right to go east into St. Mark's. One thing you want to watch when you're going here is that those cars make turns, and they can turn easily in front of you and like the left here and then the right. And when they do that, you can easily get knocked off your line. Once again, even with this cab, so far it's very easy going. Once you get the lead, if you drive in a laid-back way, it's pretty easy. It's not a difficult race. I'm going to show you a fourth. Well, that's actually technically 5 races I did, but it's really a fourth way because it's the same vehicle. The next way I show you after this one is going to be more of a kind of a prank or joke way to beat the race. Not with a cheat or anything like that, but kind of more meant for comedic value than anything else. Now again, notice I'm slowing down specifically through this long curved road through eastern St. Mark's, because it's very easy to slide. And here, by the way, it's also easy to slide out because you're getting thrown up into the air. So again, take your time. And notice those cars are nowhere near me, the AI competition. Use the sidewalks if you have to. Now this time, I'm going to go through this little curved alleyway here instead of the way I went before. You can go this way too. And once again, we're going to wait for the air. Here comes the Chinatown viewing. Okay. Alright, now, finally here he comes. But I had to actually, to make it close, I had to actually wait for him. I'm still waiting for him. There he comes. There we go. So, easy peasy, even with a taxi cab. Again, as long, I said this a million times, as long as you're driving kind of laid back and slow and don't drive like a maniac, it should be pretty. I'm going to load up a later save, by the way. I'll load up Espresso to go, because, and I have a reason for loading this particular save up, because I'm going to do this in a completely different way now. So now I'm going to load the save up. I'm in Shoreside Vale, and let's just skip ahead. I'll grab a car. You probably already know this, but you can go down that little embankment to get down that lower road in Wichita Gardens and then grab the Porter Tunnel. You can either take the Porter Tunnel to either one or both of the 2 islands, but in this case I'm just going to go to Francis International. Now, in order to do the save the way I'm going to do it now, you can enter a cheat if you want to, which, you know, that's up to you if you want to, or you could do the race at a very much later time in the game. Espresso to go is like the mission that takes place right before Sam, and also, actually I loaded up Sam, so I'm not sure which one I loaded up, Sam or Espresso to go, but those are the last 3 missions of the game. It's Espresso to go, Sam, Surface to Air Missile, and then the Exchange, which is the final mission you beat the game. Alright, so now I'm going to go through this little alleyway to get into Francis International Airport. And again, you can only do this at this point in the game for 2 reasons. The first being you need access to Shoreside Vale in order to do this, and the second, you'll see in a minute why you need to be later in the game. Whoops. I love GTA 3 where you crash into things that aren't there. This is one of my favorite games, actually, of all times, even though I mock the technology. This was really cutting edge when I played it for the first time 16 years ago. Wow. Kind of. So I'm going to grab a dodo. By the way, if anybody needs a a tutorial. The Dodo doesn't fly like other GTA vehicles. Don't take it for granted it does, or you'll go right into the dip. This is a very difficult, until you learn how to do it, this is a very difficult plane to fly. It's not like the planes in Vice City, San Andreas, or GTA 5. This is the hardest plane to fly in the history of GTA. If anybody wants, I'd be more than happy to create a tutorial video for flying the Dodo. The physics reason why this plane is so hard to fly is it only, notice that the wingspan is very short. This is not a full-winged Dodo, it's a half-winged Dodo. So it's not, the physics of this thing don't really predispose it to flight in the traditional way that most planes would fly. You gotta, it's a little finicky. Once you get it though, you could fly for hours in this thing, and it's pretty awesome actually. You can go to some really cool hidden locations in this game with this, in case you, if for those of you who haven't seen it yet. Again, if in the comment section, leave a comment and request, and I'd be more than happy to make a tutorial to fly the Dodo. It's actually probably one of the most satisfying planes in the game, and probably, in fact, I think it is the most satisfying vehicle to fly in the game because it's so challenging. You know, the other games, you just hammer on the accelerate button and you pull back and you're flying. This is, you really have to coax the plane into flying for you. Alright, so let's land here, which we're by the docks now. Alright. Flew for 82 seconds. The game is very impressed by that. Alright, so we're going to fly it to this point. Now I'm going to the emergency vehicle crane. See that yellow area? Those are GTA power-ups where you have all the emergency vehicles, okay? Where you can grab. I'll explain how you can get it in a second. Okay, but what I'm going to grab is all you have to do is walk through one of the power-ups. I'm walking through the Rhino to grab the tank. The way you get that available to you is at any point in the game, you have to bring back one of all the emergency vehicles to that crane and drive it up to that yellow striped area. Okay, that's starting with the police car, the ambulance, the fire truck, the SWAT van, the barracks OL, which is like the army barracks vehicle, and the Rhino, and the FBI car. I think I said the FBI car. But anyway, you need all those vehicles. Once you have one of every one, which obviously can't happen until later in the game because you don't open up the FBI, the ability to steal the FBI car until you have a 5-star wanted level, which you can't get until you've opened up Staunton, and you can't get the tank until you have the ability to steal one from the army with a 6-star wanted level. If you beat the game, you open up the Rhino at the army base. But if you don't want to wait till you beat the game, once you have access to Shoreside Vale, you then have the ability to steal the tank. Now I want to show you something here. I'm going to take the race, and you can't shoot those cars because I wanted to show you that they're impervious to bullets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crash into one of them. That takes one of them out. Oh, by the way, do not crash into the cars with the tank before the timer counts down. The reason is if you do, you'll automatically fail it. You can only destroy these vehicles with the tank once the race has started. And just so you know, don't feel stressed out. These cars won't start coming by your hideout until after like 85, 90, 95 seconds. So I destroyed one of them. In order to beat this race now, I'm going to have to destroy the other two. And again, do not destroy the cars until after the timer counts down and you have control of the vehicle, of the tank. So you're going to hang out here. It's 80 seconds now. We're just going to wait. Now, sometimes you might have to do this a couple of times. The trick to do this, because sometimes if you miss a vehicle, there's no way you could win with this. This is such a slow vehicle. But once you destroy all your AI competition, there's one. So now I'm technically in second place, even though I haven't gotten anything but that first check. I haven't gotten a single checkpoint. Okay, now we're at 105 seconds. Now he's coming. I'll get him. Now, if you miss one of the cars and they get ahead of you and you can't destroy it, obviously you got to try this over again. Like I said, this is a joke. This is not a serious way to beat this mission, but it's more just for shits and giggles. So I just fast forwarded the video all the way to that first checkpoint. And now we're just going to go through the race slowly. I'm not going to make you watch this whole entire race. That'd be a little ridiculous. So anyway, I'm in first place now because all the other cars are destroyed. I could take an hour to finish this race and it'll be fine. You have to at least get that first checkpoint though. If you don't get the first checkpoint within, I think it's a few hundred seconds, you automatically, I think you need the first checkpoint by 200 seconds or you'll fail. As long as you get that first checkpoint, you can take all the time you want, as I will. And notice that it's not really a race anymore because all the AI cars are destroyed. By the way, if you want, you can look at my other video and on how to steal one of these bulletproof explosion-proof cheaters, which is really cool. On a kind of a side note, one of the things you could do with the tank is if you see how the turret is behind me and I keep firing, that's a way to get this vehicle to go really fast while you're accelerating. Look how fast I'm going with that tank because I'm firing the turret. That's also an old trick. Alright, so I mean, like I said, that fourth way of passing or fifth way, depending on how you look at it, of passing the mission is more of a joke. Alrighty, we're just going to cause some mayhem here. Bring the turret back up front because I'm not looking to go quicker now. Start causing some damage and getting one or whatever. I mean, the tank is almost indestructible. I've gone on rampages like this with the tank for an hour. Eventually, the tank will catch fire, by the way, even in this thing. Now I got 3 stars. But it's as close to an indestructible vehicle in terms of crashes and all that as you're going to get in this game. It's just very, very... It's a nasty vehicle. Ah, there we go. Now we got 4 stars. I'll wait till we get up to 6 stars. And then we'll just end the video. Ooh. By the way, you know, if you get in any of those SWAT, now we have 5 stars, so we have backup. If you get into a SWAT vehicle, you'll get a full suit of armor. That's all I'm saying. Destroyed those FBI vehicles. There we go. Now we're at 6 stars, so the army will start coming after me. There's the barracks OL. Another barracks OL. Destroyed. This is just it's just, I remember back in the day, this was my guilty pleasure. We went to the hideout and now the tank's going to come in, which I can't destroy. So you know what? I'm just going to grab all these police bribes, which will take my wanted level away, and that's it. Anyway, I know this was a long video. You probably didn't watch to the end unless you happen to find this entertaining. But thanks for watching. I hope this helped anybody who may need help with that particular race, especially the guy on Steam who posted it in his question. I'd give the guy a shout out, but his name is written in Russian characters on Steam, and I have no idea how to read that language. So if he's watching this, he'll know who he is anyway, because I made it in response to his question on the Steam forums. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, watch some of my other ones. And if you have any requests for any other Grand Theft Auto vehicles, just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to create the video for you. Thanks, and have a great day.